You want to just line up so you're all in the same place. Status here. Okay, so let's form our horseshoe. Good. All right, so just turn to the left. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, and change. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 2, 3, 4. And reach now. 1, 2, and 3 your legs. 4. 2, 4. 2, 4. And bring your shoulders up. 4. 2, 4. 2, 3, 4. Okay, so just like so. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. Very good. You remember from last week. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. Just remember to let your lower elbow relax a little bit. That's it. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Change it. This is one where the little finger goes into the crease of the wrist. Like that. Thumb comes up the back, goes round. Like that. Remember? Ace. Okay. I'm just letting it drop down. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then swap hands. Sweet. 1, 2, 4. And then swap hands. 2, 3, 4. Swap. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this one. So, fingers down, thumb down the back. Open the wrist up this way. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 5, 2, 3, 4, and check. And then we have exercise. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 4. Yeah. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. And take shoulder. 1, 2, 4. 2, 3, 4. And a big circle. Couple of those. And then back the other way. That's it. That's that. That's it. 1, 2, 3. Don't let it go too far behind you, Remy. The big bad monster will grab it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Other hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. With a bounce. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just noticing a lot of you bringing your knees in like that. Now I want you to open up a bit. You can go wider and lower. Stable base. It's fairly stable. You go a little bit deeper if you do that. All right, to the floor. The long way down, isn't it? It is. Yeah, glass was a bit. It's changing the air. Oh, legal as land. Okay. Arms nice and relaxed on the legs. Okay, and we're going to be just sliding forward, moving from our tongues. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Straighten it up. Let the weight from the knees fall to the floor. And then start to shift through. Build it up. And come forward. 1, 2, 3, 5. 2, 3, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Onto your knees. And you're just basically bring your head forward onto the mat and just rest. Hand down in front. Activate back structure. Breathe. And glide forward. And up. And then we go back. Up into our shell. Up we come. So when you come in doing this, stay low, stay low, stay low, stay low, and then come. Back. And forward, stay low, stay low, stay low, and come up. Up. And up. Okay, so leg back. Push it over your other leg. And so on. Okay, back down. Left leg up. Great, the old weapons grip. Okay, fold it over the other side and turn. And back. Slowly hand back. And then slowly. There we go. Okay, so we're going to do an exercise which is kind of fundamental in Aikido. It's called Ikkyo Undo. Ikkyo meaning first, and Undo meaning exercise. So it's an important one because they labeled it that. Right, so when we do this, there's a lot of deflection involved when you're getting an attack, so we want to be able to come forward. So our legs are like this. It's pointing slightly to the left. This is pointing slightly to the right. Nice firm triangular base. And we're rocking forward with our knee probably ending up around over our big toe. because if we go much further than that, then our back starts to bend and we start to find it's a lot hard work to hold it. And equally, we don't do that. We're going to carry our upper body forward on our hips until we reach that spot. And if you just play with this a little bit, you should find there's a place where you kind of naturally want to stop, otherwise you might fall over. You might give yourself a little slightly broader base, really. That's it. And you might feel a bit more stable. How does that feel now? Good. Excellent. This all looks good. All right, so then we introduce our arms. So as we're coming forward, our hands come up. And as we go back, our hands come down. And we go down into one finger. Okay. So we can focus all our energies to the floor. So up all fingers, down to one finger. 1, 2, 2, 2. Make sure that you don't get so excited that you try and reach the person on the other side, because you will fall over in the end. So where does your body tell you to stop and keep straight back? Bear that in mind. 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 4. Reaching the change of side. 3, 2, 2, 2. And remember, what are you throwing? Paint over me. A big bucket of it. Right, and it'll never reach if it's like that. Ready? I'm going to cover you too. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4. Good. Okay, so now we'll make it more complicated. So if I can have you line up. So Katie and then you take a line or two at the back. You three come to the front. And someone in the middle, don't mind which, facing the front. You're going to face the front. Yes, make sure you're in the gap so you've got a view. All right, if I move this across the mat. Okay, so we'll all face that. Excellent. Right, so what we're going to do is we go 1, 2, and then we're going to turn around. 1, 3, 4. All right, we're going to turn around. 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I knew it to 7, 8 already. I got too excited. Start again. I dropped myself up. I made the mistake. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, time to get more complicated. So you've done the sides, so where should we do next? We should do the ups and downs, shouldn't we? You've got it. Okay, so how do I know where to step? 1, 2, 3, 4. My back foot tells me. It's pointing in that direction. 5, 6, 7, 8. Got it? Okay. So at 5, 6, 7, 8, I might pause so you just have a chance to recollect where your foot is pointing. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. Where's your back foot pointing? It's your back foot. So if you're all the same as me, you should be having that facing that way. 5, 6, 7, 8. That's where we start. This way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I admire your confidence, Katie. I'll just check if I've got this right. Okay, you ready? Left foot front. Unless you'd like to swap to the right side, we can go to the dark side of that. Actually, the dark side is the sinister side, which is the left side. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we're going to start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now we're going to start there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Very good. Very good. Okay. So now we're going to do 16 ways. So we've done side to side. We've done up and down. What's left? You've got it. The diagonals. How do we know which diagonal to go to first? Back foot's going to point the way. Exactly so. Are you ready? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's a corner. Which corner can it be? It must be that one because the back foot's pointing there. 9, 10, 11, 12. Back foot. Where's the pointing? Back corner. 4, 13, 14, 15, 16. Very good. Yes, you're slightly surprised and confused, but we'll get you there. Hold this up. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 corners, 9, 10, 11, 12, another corner, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, did you all get that correctly?
I'm going wrong at one point when I'm turning there. I think I'm going wrong.
Okay, so what are you doing now?
I'm going there and like this.
Okay.
And then I'm going here, but
that's correct.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh yeah, no, actually, I think I'm that. Yeah, okay. And then...
Yeah, that's right. You're all right. Good. Okay, so everybody's going to put forward at the moment until I say, okay, let's switch it because you're doing that too well. Okay, so we're going to do 16. No, maybe 16. 16. But maybe quicker. Until your mind is blown. All right, you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Who's with us still?
Sorry.
Oh, was our mind blown early? Okay, back to the beginning. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, good yourself. That game's over. You're going to try with the right foot. Oh, God. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, let's start again. Right boots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, I'm actually 17. How did I do that? Probably went the right way, counting one up the spout. It's the same rule, I think it's the same rule. Points away. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, but pointing away. 9, 10, 11, 12. We're but pointing away. Hey, where did you go? 13, 14, 15.
Oh, he's got to switch legs.
Did you not remember to switch leg? So when I said right leg forward, I meant the other left leg. No, I wasn't the one leg forward.
I think it was not
like that. So I was going like that. No, sorry. Okay, amazing. Right. Okay.
And then you put that leg forward.
Are we ready? That's why I put it. She's watching you every move. Yeah, that's why I bring it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. How do we do?
Not perfect.
No, completely blown. Yeah, it's complicated. It's complicated. But if you did that for a few weeks, you'd have it. Okay. So, why do we do this exercise? Because it looks, do you want to just come to the edge for a sec? Because on the face of it, what's the point? It doesn't look like it resembles anything to do with the martial art. Got any theories? Motivation is good. Yes, it's kind of on the way. Yeah. Anything else? Okay, so this simulates 16 different attacks from 16 different directions. Right? So if I'm being, potentially I'm surrounded by people who are going to attack, I can only really deal with one of them at a time, can't I? Yes. So I give everything to the first one, and then I give everything to the second one, and so on and so forth. Rather than 20% of me going off there and 80% going off there. Kind of that doesn't really work. So when you have a problem, it's best to give all your attention to the problem in that moment. Do your best to solve it so you can move on to the next potential problem. Right? So that's what this is all about. It's learning to have real focus on just what is happening to you now. Okay? Not worrying about what might happen in a minute, but just focusing on the here and now. Because how many times have you worried about what might happen in a minute? It doesn't happen. So that was kind of a wasted energy, wasn't it? Yeah. So just to deal with the here. All right. So now exercises 2, 3, 4. Yeah, come to the middle, even better. Okay, off you go, start. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, stop. And then we test. So I gently extend in the direction of the shoulders. And then she's good and soft. Now I gently raise up here. And I gently attempt to bend that. What's really good about how she's done it, she doesn't turn her head. She followed where she was going. Back to perfect posture. And let me move you. She didn't twist her body because if I tested the under her shoulders, she would come over. Perfect posture. And she didn't bend her arm because when she did that, what would happen? So she got all of them right. What a good girl. All right. So if you compare up and give that a go, that would be great. Well, I'm going to if you don't mind, because you did so well, you might as well impart that knowledge on them. But everybody else, find a partner, off you go. There's one left, which there should be. Oh, how okay, that's fair. Okay, so now what we're going to do, you guys are going to go down there in case you want to. So the exercise is being able to go from side to side. If you imagine you're on a ship, holding the wheel, and the waves are battering you, and you keep having to shift your weight, but you want to, always keep your body up. Yes, it's a nice movement. So as you settle, your hands come up, and then you settle, and your hands go across, and you pass to the middle, and then you settle. So we're in the middle, you go to the arms up, settle. Bring your hands across, bring you to the middle, and then to the left, settle. Good. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, stop. Okay, so just have a little look here. So if I test, that's going to happen. This is probably your hand position is very good.
My knees
So you're good on that.
only as far as my
There. So you now can't see it. See what the difference is. So your shoulder kind of gives you a clue. Here it's very comfy, and if I let it go, it's still in that true position in front of my body. And when you raise it up, it's still in front of your body. And when you pull it behind you, so that is good. Okay, so let's see if we can just relax. So let the weight of your arm give you this shape. So that's me interfering with it. I just relax. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, stop. This is still very good. This is vastly improved. That's probably still a bit high. Just there. Find where your navel is. It's going to stop there. Okay, so where's your navel? Yeah, got it. Okay, so you're going to drop it there. Okay, so good there. Push it a bit further. Okay. Not quite the same. Hi there, Finn. Okay. Excellent. Right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's the 1, 2, 3, stop. Excellent. 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 Really solid, aren't you?
Yeah, feels solid.
Yeah, you should be. You are. The other way. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. So if you go like this, your other thumb is excellent. So if you decide to go this way, almost. There, this tiniest more shooting something. It's not really, it's very all line. You never really go above. Yeah, because the more you do that, don't mind which side you start to. Generally, we start to the left. If you're not already to the left, you start to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, stop.
All the energy just
Okay. So that's what it says. Transferring. How does that feel compared to never? So it's about noticing these small things. The small things make a big difference. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, stop. So you can go low enough, your body shakes. Because you feel it like this, go low enough, but you don't move anything. So you can also remain. How do you So again, it's maybe a little bit esoteric, but a lot of our throws come from this kind of position. So it's not me whacking you in the face. That probably would work. You know, but not so the base of the nose would be here. Not such a lot of harmony with your nose or the person attached. It would be harmony without the body. Yeah, more the harm. Yes, absolutely. So I rest my arm here and I lower myself. Yes. So there's no pressure with my arm. Right? If I try to do that with my arm, actually I can't shift it. So it's about settling, finding connection with my partner, then lowering my center. How do I do that? I shift my weight downwards. so that I can keep contact with him as he's falling away. Right? Okay, so that's what I want you to do. Get your partner out to form a bit of a platform for you. Come down lower. Okay, so just rest your arm there, right? And you two together, you two together. I'll have to go with Remy. And you get a paramount. This is going to be fun, isn't it? Okay, so we're going to go together. You guys can go behind us. So,
make it easier. It's this one's back.
Yes, you can feel the weight of it, can't you? Okay, so with that, okay, so now I'm going to push you. So you just stay standing. You stay solid. So here. So you shouldn't feel me pushing you, you should just feel the need to go down. So now I'm going to. Yes.
Because once you're throwing it down, just again, we're not thinking against the side.
One. Yes. No, it's all right. You can turn on my hand anytime. Okay, so come a little bit more to my side.
So yeah, just about now.
So, do that for me. You have 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. So you're nice and soft. So if I'm in front of you, this feels different, doesn't it? To if I'm right by your side.
Yeah.
Yes, good.
This is nice and even more.
So,
just let go back to my side.
Yes.
Sorry.
And just worry about lowering your knees.
Thank you for
Nice.
yeah.
So, just watch you.
Oh, wait, no, yeah. I did expect it.
Yes.
I'm exaggerating what you're doing, but that's what you're allowing the subtle body shape to change from the straight. So you need to get closer. So there's no gap between us. Now just a little.
A handyman himself wasn't able to very well done. What he could do was use his pen. And by the time he was a father, he was becoming quite famous. His daughter Josephine, who literally had a very close and happy relationship, she was known as Effie, and he wrote the stories for her, became seriously ill with pneumonia at the same time he himself was ill. And the whole world watched the recovery of Rudyard Kipling and missed the fact that Josephine was mortally ill and she didn't recover.
Okay, so how was it? Okay, so let's just have a quick report on how we did. Did we that work?
I tend to lose my balance.
You tend to lose your balance when you're doing it.
Over rather than just down.
Right, okay, so what's the learning in the fact that you tend to learn your balance, losing your balance? What do you need to adjust?
I just need to round, I guess.
Okay, so make the shape that you're making for me now. When you say you tend to lose your balance a bit, so what shape are you making? Where do you lose your
I
balance?
tend to do this.
Right, okay. Okay, so what are you doing to your upper body when you do the unbalancing thing?
Shifting my center of gravity.
Yes, your upper body's doing a lot of moving, isn't it? And it's not supposed to.
Yes.
Right, so probably The reason for that is that you have to position yourself in the right place in the first place. So if he's over there, the only way I can get to him is kind of to come over here. And the only reason I'm standing is because he's supporting me now, but he's still standing. When I start here, oh, my candles. Then it's really easy. So I don't want any of that. And the reason probably is that, as I said, there's this gap between you to start by getting closer, more connected. So you gave me the error, and you kind of knew what you should have been doing, but there was just a missing link that you didn't quite have. Right. Okay, anything else? Does anyone else notice? You didn't say it. Okay, good, good. And this is important because when you're throwing your partner, you always want to be comfortable. This is never going to work. The only person who's uncoordinated here is me. I have to be in a place where I'm comfortable. I'm never going to be reaching for it. And you can tell when people are not comfortable when they're doing this.
As well.
And very often, people can do a really nice technique. Yes. So what did I do? I didn't bother to move my feet. I allowed my body to do this for me. Isn't that just as stupid as that? I'm not very stable here, or here, or here, or here. I always want to be carrying my upper body. I repeat that technique. Now I can't get pulled over. I can keep my nice straight body. People think they've reached the end of the technique just when the person is disappearing to the floor, but they're smart. Okay. I know. You've created your own downfall, right? So you want to maintain the connection with your partner for as long as you possibly can, and good quality connection at that. Which means that if they're moving, you need to be moving as well. Because they're always going to be adjusting to get away and get to a place where they can adjust their balance. If you don't stay with them, they will adjust their balance.
I just wanted to add that even the very concept of trying to throw and putting ego and force into it actually allow me to make a counter.
Yes. So the desire, what Nick is saying is, as soon as you're thinking about wanting to throw somebody, you are no longer working together. You are working against that partner. It doesn't mean to say that technically you won't find a pretty good mechanical process that gives you a good chance if you haven't got a good uncanny of throwing them. But when you've got a good uncanny, they'll use that energy and counter you with it. So hopefully they'll do the Aikido that you should have been doing, and you will end up finding yourself somewhere towards the floor or the stop or whatever. Does that make sense? We ask our partner to attack us so that we have some energy to play with. If they were in true Aikido harmony, there would be no fighting. Right? So the only way we can learn to deal with conflict is if we create it. But it has to be as close to real as possible whilst keeping everybody safe. So, so he grabs my wrist, I let it come in, I let it come up. This shape should look reasonably familiar.
We should be looking at our partner, right? In the position.
Correct. Now reflection. So as soon as I worry about him, again, it's a separation. If I feel the need to put my attention on him, something goes wrong. When I'm okay, I can feel him, I can see him out of my peripheral vision. Maybe there's some sort of energy sensitivity there too. I just know, don't I, Nick? Thank you. So, yeah, don't panic. You will know. All right, so let's try that. I will have a go with Nick. Could you work with Remy? And ladies, mix it up. And if you haven't introduced, which you haven't, Katie, I know Katie from Turkey, from France. Okay, so you want to throw me? Or you could okay, you're coming in. So you're not anticipating the fact that you're going on.
Yes, sir. Good.
But again, just for you two, when you finish the exercise, try and finish here. So if you ended up going, oh, you know you went too far. Remember, not take it on. You wait. So, go on. Let's go down. And make a mistake. So a blocky situation, and then you overlay it. Lifting you. So we're lifting the center. So you don't go there. There and then
I think the best is falling this way. This goes back. Kneel. Yes. Yes.
And maybe
You
the
do slowly.
she may not feel comfortable going with this, so a little slower.
For those quickly would be steady.
But I should have given you
Exercise.
just go down. Maybe the finishing posture was the same thing. So you want to let me know? No, side, down and backwards. Yes, it's working very well, but as you're throwing me, this allows you to stay with you.
Yes.
Nice.
Then always fall. Then you can let it come to you. I can always you're exposing your body. That's the only reason. Yes. That's your best. Yeah.
The negative shape. Yeah.
Yeah.
But create the energy you want to have it feel this. Does that make sense? Yes, you get power. That's right. Well, I know. This is excellent. Let's try this side. Oh, sorry, I think it was this one. Of course. In
Oh, wow.
Excellent. Really good.
It's amazing. Amazing.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Really good. Really good.
Clearly.
All right. So we're doing this big shape, right? But we can make it smaller. Same effect. And we can make it smaller still. So it looks like I'm just punching her in the face, but I'm not. The energy is the same. A circle in my head. Think it is. Bang! So, let's see that.
We make the cycles closer again.
Yeah,
If
well,
you can do that.
right, but we're going to do it slowly.
Yes.
Okay, so don't come rushing in like a lunatic. Give you a chance to make a slightly shorter step than the big one. So, knee up. Well, I have to adjust my timing. So you can come that face. If I want to do the bigger one, I can. If I want to do the smaller one, if I want to do the slightly smaller one, I can. If I want to do as small as it can go, I can. Yep. So, you know, if she's rushing in like a lunatic and she's not expecting this, it's my job to make sure that I save her. But the potential for disaster is there, right?
Can I advise that unless you are sure you have nailed how to take your kemi, kind of like take break fall, do not go faster than you can actually be able to step backwards or backwards.
Yes. So if we're not happy with the break fall, we do something. Just a second. I'm pinned again. There we go. Yeah. So are you happy to take a break fall? Are you happy to fall backwards? Nico will show you just before we start the exercise what's needed. Okay? I think I showed you briefly last week. Okay. Join with Nico just for a second to get that bit in, and then if you can work as a okay. Carry on, girl. So he'll take you through the basics of what you need to do to fall down safely.
Are you ready? Okay. So shall we kind of like demonstrate? Yeah. No. So basically, the secret is again, so doing technique, not an exercise. But the leg which is next to me is the one that goes backwards.
And a little more
So
time.
this is very slowly. Yeah. So as you come in, this goes backwards. Yes. The only reason is, once we can do the other way, then there is no So
just a couple of points. I can just borrow this. You're going to be throwing these. Okay. So, at the end of the world, But as you, okay, try to avoid doing this. I'm coming forward, I'm coming forward. Oh, I think we're going to because I know this is coming. My job is to come forward, to come forward, come forward. Otherwise, he hasn't got anything to play with. He's going to have to adjust what he's doing. So my job is just to focus on the wrist. That's what I want. Oh, I win, I win. So I never know what he's going to do. He might make a mistake that I can exploit. If I'm anticipating it, I don't know, and he won't know whether he's got it right or he's got it wrong. All right, so what I do to make myself safe, rather than walking backwards, is I think, okay, I better not rush this one. I'm going to come in slowly. Oh yeah, I can take a back and go at that pace. All right, and if you're good with that, then maybe you can become a bit more intrepid and take a slightly faster backward roll. But you're setting the standard for how fast this is going to be. He doesn't say you must come quicker. You determine how quickly you come. And you come in at the speed that's safe for you. And when you found the safe speed, you put your foot on the gas a bit and say, well, can I still control the steering wheel when I'm doing 45 instead of 40? And so on and so forth. Can you do it at 50? Can you do it at 55? Can you do it at 60? Etc. Right? Back into where you are.
Are you using that for a bicycle or scooter?
What do you mean?
Well, not everybody's driving.
Very true.
So, how do you okay? Remember, keep your balances.
Okay, so now on this side you're going to throw your line. So go more to that side so you're not going to be a problem. Correct.
Inwards like this.
No, so never pick a glass up like that. Natural. That's it. Okay. So, there's a block here. There's a block coming forward.
Have you been fishing?
Go through.
Have you seen fishing?
Well, that's it.
So basically, this technique is when you actually fish together. So they never involve. So because it's the moment so I'm making a mistake. So yeah, have the feeling of holding and taking right through my center, taking out. Yeah, that goes like that. So I have to also as she's touching, make me lose the balance.
That's a protection.
Exactly.
Very good feel
Fish, yes. But we don't go too fast because then you're gonna lose the fish. Like almost like you can just use the touch rather than hold. Look to me. And then guys.
you were faster than he did good. And until you understand
Slightly harder, but this is the essence. Yes.
So
remember the flower. This flower. Yes.
you also have to match yourself to him.
Yeah.
So you start slow
Up and
to measure where you're going.
slow.
So one of you, maybe you're both the same level. Yeah, it's one's
It's not across.
the higher one usually
It's
comes
through
down.
here. Hair center going up. And at this point, like the flower petals, also elastic petals. If I don't do that, you go perhaps across,
It will always
go up again. So you can even stop. Oh, okay, I know how to do it. Like my hand was there, that was there.
nice. Good. That was good.
Let me have some. Yeah. And open the petals. Open up.
Good. Okay. So, what's the main difference in size between you and your mum? She's really tall, isn't she? Right. So you're never going to be able to reach above her, are you?
Yeah.
So when I practice with you, I'm slightly taller than you, so that's easy. If I come down to your height, well, that's not so easy. So what I have to do is I have to put my mind up. So I put my mind beyond you. I can't, so if I just put my hand yeah, well, it's but I didn't know. Yes, really big. It's like a wave that's going to crash over me. It's my mind can go anywhere it wants, can't it? So, yeah.
Slow breath. Comes down. Yes. Yeah, once we are touching the ceiling with your mind.
So the shape's good.
Yeah.
All right. The same throughout. So it was good until then.
So let it.
That's much better.
Yes.
How's this done?
Yeah. So even if you miss, again.
Wow, I can just tell from the noise that was a good one.
Keep up the like and then open. So in the end, even.
Do you want to look at this, or can we have okay? So, did you get it first time? No, right. So there was a learning process there. What happened along that learning journey? Improvements on what was previously an error or a mistake. Okay, so if you hadn't made the mistake, you wouldn't have had the opportunity for me or whoever you were working with to say, no, you've got to make a bigger circle, or you've got to expand, spend more energy, or you've got to relax more, or whatever, you've got to keep your body, hand closer to your body, whatever it was. All of that gives you a much bigger picture as to how the movement works. It's simple enough, doesn't it? Oh, anybody should be able to do that. And then you're faced with doing it, and suddenly it doesn't seem to work quite so well. That didn't look complicated, but it's not working for me, right? It's because there's other stuff going on. And you have to kind of feel it and experience what it's like when it's clunky in order to get to the place where suddenly it's now starting to feel a bit smooth. So when it's not going well, be pleased. Because you're gonna learn some stuff that's really useful that you can integrate into the system, and you're one step nearer being where you want to be. And the strange thing is, every person you practice with makes different mistakes in different places. So as the teacher, sometimes I find somebody who's doing an error I've never seen before, and I learn a bit of the technique that I wasn't aware of. Otherwise, I'd have told you about it. Right? So what happens is they make the mistake, and I think it's going wrong at this point. What do I do when I'm at that point? And I have, oh, my elbow does that. Not what they're doing, or whatever it happens to be. And I'm aware of something in the technique that I just never focused on before. And when the subconscious knowledge becomes conscious knowledge, I can use that. I can improve the overall technique because I'm consciously aware of it. Makes sense? All right, so Nicholas. Good idea. What's your idea?
Basically, kind of try to slice you from the collarbone to the next to the
nice. We're coming from a Japanese martial art. So this is the sword blade. He's coming in. And your alternative standard attack would be straight up and down. You're going to cut me in half, basically. Okay, but I'm here dead on, so coming straight on, not so smart. Right, so what do you do to come around now? So he makes like he's coming in, but actually he's going around.
the last second.
Okay. So I have to do something different. where your feet, our hips are fairly well aligned. When you finish your cut, while you do nothing, they're no longer aligned. Our head falls to the ground. It's bad news, really.
Your entire side.
Thank you for that graphic. So, as we do this, you'll notice there's a certain symmetry in it. Look, our hips are now still aligned. So, I don't want to do this. We need to sink this. Yep. That's the hip movement. I'm doing the same as here, but I'm going backwards. This hand comes up, so it's my hand. So now, if you try to lift, sorry. So I'm not looking to block you or anything like that. Okay. So look at the distance. Okay, so if you try to, that's good. I'm safe from that. Anything else you can maybe he just loses balance.
Yeah.
So what does he want to do? He wants to come up. Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah, when I go to re-attack. Yeah, because also this is blocked.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm not going to. I know I'm blocking. So what I don't do is I don't hold him down. Because he's going to want to come up. So I let him come up. And then I just don't hit him with chance. All right. So we're just going to do the first bit. Without arms. Can we do that? Build it up, build it up, build it up, and then you do it on the other side. And then we'll start introducing the rest of the movement. All right. So I think you two should work together on this one. Let's see how good at dancing you are. All right, off we go. Go with Evan. I'll go with Alice. Right. So you're coming forward. Not my hips, but you sense the movement and you're moving perfectly. Okay, so now switch Yes. No, okay. You can get back into it. Yes.
Well, I was coming to you, that's what I got from you. Yeah, you.
Okay, so let your hips turn so you can naturally place your foot down. Yep. So literally, if I'm walking forward, you don't pay attention to this, but our hips are turning slightly as we step forward. If I have to take a step back, it's exactly the same. Yeah, so don't kick your leg out. Just let's see how you do now.
So this.
Oops, hold back.
Make sure like
that's the one. Oh, that was much better. Can you see how that's changed the signal? Right. Okay, you do really well there.
That's good.
Yes. So I'm just not going to move now. Oh, hello. You say so. Only your
Yes, it goes.
So I can get pretty close. So, you felt it, right? Yeah. You should just feel the intention. I need to have my stop. So if I don't have the control to stop the speed, I can't slow.
Down, not just there.
That. Good. Good. That's close. Yes. You won't be able to do it yet. So, you definitely move further.
No, but this is coming faster. Okay. Just sustain to read that music. So if you make a mistake. So if you make a mistake. The other one is coming. So it means.
Okay, so the cup.
Slowly.
Okay. So if you just stay there for a second, I'm not pointing. So I step in, my hips come round. You're going to stay still. You're going to risk it for a biscuit. Yeah. So
There's no control of the body. And once you've done that,
just do that. Okay. See how unpowerful that feels.
so
Compared to bending, flexing, two parts. Like a throwing ball. It's much more powerful, doesn't it? As it jumps up. Got it. Okay. So now you've got to have power and control. So I'm not going to hit you, but you're going to stay there.
and then slowly walking forward.
I have to give you the intention. Like Italian biscuit. Doesn't feel like you need to defend yourself. So, but if I go too fast and I haven't got the control, then accidents happen. So I have to know I can stop in time.
Keeping the distance.
I'm confident I can stop in time. But if I'm ready, it's the first time doing it, don't really want to put it on one's head off. I'm going to become a bit slower. Oh yeah, I can stop there.
Let's see if I feel it like this. She doesn't have the control. I'm already broken the balance.
Happy?
Okay.
You need to feel for the system.
I've only got one.
Bigger mistake at this point. Then just go. Because we're practicing on the inside, I must learn to
I know exactly what I'm
get the
doing.
distance right.
That's space. If it will be attacked in your space, and the distance you need to take to keep the distance.
But also my long hair. So,
what are we doing? What did you do? What did you do with your feet?
yes.
What are you going to do?
Oh yeah, I'm coming this.
Now you're going to think about it. So I'm coming. What are you going to do? Okay, good. See where you stop now. Okay, so when I come for you, that's where I expect to find you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know where the flex from my arms. Somehow push it down. Don't crack.
Yeah.
Yes. So what do you want to do? So I pull.
So you can just disengage.
I'm not connected.
Or even hold it.
If I'm right,
That's should blocks come up.
you want to resist that, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah, because you don't want to pulled around. Right. So if you round the arm, you just ride the horse. You'll feel when I stand up. I won't feel any resistance. So that's what I'm going to want to do. I won't think that I'm back to the leg. There's no chance to get my back. Makes sense?
How do I see?
Okay, so as we're coming forward, this is coming up. Nice. Don't hold me down. Don't want to come on. Don't hold me down. So, yes, you can't get to that part if you hold me down. Okay, so you knock me down. Ah, you let me do it.
Yeah.
One more time, one more time.
I'll just say I like natural.
Okay, so when we get to here, you feel resistance. Right. So what did you do? You push. That's the same as grabbing your hands. So you feel resistance, but then go in a different direction. Yeah. So down is a stop. Or go forward there. Or down is a stop. You never just stay down like that. Yes! Don't do that. Down. You're always going to want to touch the other way. So if I create a hole, it makes no sense. So walk in life around like this, you would never do it. Okay.
Because now.
All right. So Casey, have a go with that. You're an and through. Yes. Very much. Down that way. Come back up. Now there's that hole.
Remember, the other one should be able to I'm making mistakes.
Now.
That's the floor, it's an and now she's got like I did there.
Excellent.
Come on, there we go. There we go.
Sorry?
Just to show me how you are let go on your anything needed. Yes? Excellent. I think I need to.
Just as we were getting it.
So we have the
So remember, this is the art of non-resistance, right? What am I doing? I think I'm resisting. What else my wrist? He hasn't got my arm. He hasn't got the other hand. So I never worry about what he's got. Because by the time I've done that, I've allowed him to fulfill the reason why he grabbed my wrist in the first place. But don't forget, when someone grabs your wrist, you might be trying to save them. There might be traffic on the road. So don't always just be a little bit aware. So,
oh, nice to meet you.
this is great, good friends, right? Yeah, so he's got it, that's all right. Whatever you want to go for, but not go slowly. So I will create resistance, get into this. I might not be there. Or I might just do that here, I'm going to strike. Or I might go the roundabout first. Like a revolving door, that's the word. Yeah, so as long as that I'm not resistant, generally speaking, when you can feel a person doing a technique, you know they've done it wrong. Okay, and then you know, it's his job really to decide whether to make a point of it. So if he's practicing with you and all you're doing is learning where to put your hands and feet, he's probably reasonably forgiving until you've got that right. When you've got the hands and feet right, then he's going to say, would you mind stop pushing my arm? Try to be gentle, please. Right?
I think feedback from Duke is also important.
Yeah, but with me, he's not going to let me get away with anything, which is right. So, I need resistance. Don't try to go through and change the direction. Oh, okay. He wants to come up, so I'll let him come up, and then we'll go down. Or, I can't go down, but I can get forward. Just find a direction that you can go in without sort of battering each other. That way, it was good, wasn't it? Made a really good noise. That way, you're going to leave this place feeling nice and soft and no bruises or Chinese burns or anything like that. Right. And you'll know it's really good Aikido when you're laughing on the floor thinking, how did I get here? If you can't feel it, that's when it's working really good. Okay, so what technique should we do now?
I think we could do the tension again. You show it as a template, but
okay, so this is a quite complex one. So we'll just start from here. Okay, so if I just step here, does he look like I've done anything to him? Still looks pretty good, doesn't he? So there's a little extra that we need to throw in. So I'm going to come to here. I'm going to turn the wrist. I'm not going to take it away from him.
okay.
I'm just going to turn it. Yep. But not really. That could be the end of the technique, but it would be boring if it was that simple, wouldn't it? Okay. So that's what this hand's going to do. If I come like this, then this is a train, isn't it? Train, you never get anywhere. But I can move here, easy. That's good. So I'm going to put his hand on his belly button. And I'm going to lift. Oh, now there's resistance. So I'm going to turn and go. This is a nice one to show where you feel resistance. I cannot go this direction, but I can go to here. When you lift, you'll find there's a place where it stops. So I've got to change direction. Well, I'm going to just change it back. Okay, there are other directions I could have chosen, but on this occasion, that's where I see it. 1, 2, turn your wrist. And I'll take a step. Put those. If you notice, if I turn the wrist, it's facing the back wall. If you notice, I turn the wrist, it's facing the other back wall. If they're both backwards. Okay? The opposite sides anyway. Okay, so if you're doing this, you've made a mistake. So you didn't turn the wrist. If it's here, you've made a mistake. It both needs to be like this. One. Very easy. So, next I can step forward so I can keep my nice straight body. Keep my feeling over him. Yeah, and I can do it. No problem. You can see that again. We do need to see it again, don't we? Yes. Okay, so I'm going to glide across his body. It's not a train wreck. That's never going to work, right? It's not me running away. Mind you, that might be good too. In the right circumstances, that's fine. I just sit out the way. But just enough so that our body's still close. Yeah. Otherwise, he's not going to attack that anymore. I want to think, there it is, it's there, it's there. I don't take it away from him, I let him have the prize. So that's the footwork. And turn. So getting this hand, the complication is coming in, up, and round. Up. And round. Okay, so we're all going to stand up. Okay. With the left foot forward. You have to take it in a minute. Right, so you step forward with your right hand, and imagine you are taking the hand to the navel. And you're going to lift this up like it's a pile of bricks. And then you're going to drop the bricks and go down. Yes, you've all got it right. All your hands are facing in the right direction. So let's try that again. Navel, brick the pods, drop the bricks down. Good. Yeah, and take a little sliding step. Because you don't want to and slide. If I can hear your feet though, I'll be disappointed. Yes. This is much more effort, right? You just pick your feet up a bit. Don't start hopping yet. Good. All right, so you're all set. Can you look after him? I hope so. Okay, you work so. Monitor what goes on. So you, all you're doing is you're looking to control.
What you're liking?
You are controlling good. So you have to remember the technique now.
Yeah, don't leave it. Otherwise, I think that's not.
Yes. So remembering, you control the speed of the movement. So you're comfortable, nice and slow.
So always in the mirror is that's what it is. If you have a step, because you have suppose have a step.
Okay. Yeah, right here. The other side of my foot. Right, forward. Out. You've got to turn it. Yes. Come forward. Makes sense then. Always forward. Okay, so come in.
That's the story, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's really like walked into the wall, right? Never goes. Okay, so what you should do is
Keep your
she can't come up.
let them fall in.
So she can't come up. Now she's got to explore different directions. Ah, she's got it moving again.
Close.
So now she's a real chance to explore what she's changed it just a fraction soon.
This extends.
So I'm driving around a racing circuit.
This extends there.
And I forget to turn at the corner. I hit the barriers the next time.
I'm going in. I'm straight in there with my throat. You're on the way out. Or
Right away. So remember, this one's going to touch her navel. And then it's going to come up. So this is going to be, you should be over here. Now, turn your wrist and step forward. Whoa! Okay, so remember, your first move is one. So worry about hand two. All you do is that with your hand and a step. Look, she's already done that. Yeah, when we got that right, now we touch, and a lift, and a turn. Okay, so what are you going to do on the left hand side? You're going to glide across and turn your wrist. Yes. And then you're going to worry about the hand moves in that way. Yes. And step, and remember, don't forget to step. Step. Yes, good. So the first step is going to take you just past your foot
Or the leg inside.
We're still, we're going against each other.
For example,
Sometimes the air displays, you see planes going really close, and it's terribly dramatic. This is going to be a bit like. Yeah. She's not ready. I'm actually just going to. Big step, big slide step, remember? Yes, that's the thing. You got it!
the first stage is yes.
Turn and step. Alright, so what was your final shape? Were you straight or were you let your back go?
Yes.
Everything else is like
Remember, when he proceeds, long line up. 1, 2, 3.
Don't worry about it. So, if you want to I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. It stays in front. And you can see she's off shape. Right.
See, you have to see. Get outside the paradigm. Yeah.
Just imagine with your first leg as you go. You look very more fast now. Your foot is parallel with the back of the body. Now, if I do this again, see where I am at. I know, it's much more
Away from level.
Yes! You're still in one piece as well!
See? See, shuffle with your right. Right. Yeah. There she is.
Yeah.
And then, yes.
Time has flown. Okay, so any questions? Any thoughts, feedback, contributions?
Mind blown.
There's a lot to think about.
Yeah. Yes, especially as a beginner, because you're just assimilating all of these ideas. Trying to remember what you did last week and add to it this week. It's tricky, but honestly, you're both doing ever so well. Very impressive. Both of you, very impressive. And I'm not just saying. Both feel really centered and solid, and you both picking up really quickly. Okay. But we're going to make lots of mistakes on the journey, and that's nothing to be concerned about. Otherwise, it'd be a bit boring, wouldn't it? If you managed to get this all done in a month, you wouldn't be here 10 years later, probably. You'd have moved on to something that was a bit more interesting. You'll still be trying to get this right when you fall off your perch. Yeah. There'll always be new stuff to discover. Oh, wow, it's still mind-blowing. 38 years into the journey, it still makes me laugh and smile. I don't know, it just brings joy, it does. Okay, so don't worry about mistakes. They can be of great value. Yeah, as long as you learn from them. Making the same mistakes time and time again, now that's stupid, and people do that. People do that. You see, you think, if you did that last time, it had the same consequence. Why are you doing it again? And you watch them repeat the pattern, repeat the pattern, repeat the pattern. It's always somebody else's fault.
Is the definition of stupidity?
It may be. I could possibly
doing the
comment.
same again, better than it.
You just sometimes you need to step outside the circle. What is it me? It is. Probably be something to adjust. Right. So if we make a circle. More that's it. That's it. Well done, team.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, so put your line up. Even the bow is an opportunity to practice staying centered, being aware, grounding. These are doing. Still enjoy it?
Thanks, are you recording?
I am. Yes, I will stop.
So let's show you why this bow is